For about the last year, the sanctuary movement's resistance to the Trump administration's immigration enforcement has played out more or less like the plot of Star Wars. There's been a rebel alliance, the sanctuary movement, that's up against a strong power. It's set up bases, places where people can stay where they believe that they will be safe. And they've had some early victories. The victory in court about the travel ban, the victories in court about DACA, and some laws passed in the state of California designed to keep state resources from being spent to cooperate with ICE's enforcement effort. These included laws that prohibit private employers from cooperating with ICE, requiring them to give employees notice of ICE workplace raids, preventing local authorities from sharing information with ICE about undocumented immigrants who are in custody or transferring them over to federal custody, and giving state authorities the ability to inspect federal detention facilities. Well, if you're a fan of Star Wars, you know what's likely to come next. The Empire Strikes Back. And this week it did. Now, the administration doesn't have a huge floating Death Star, or at least not that we know about. And it doesn't have an all-powerful, evil, strong Darth Vader to do the Emperor's bidding. But it does have Attorney General Jeff Sessions. And this week, Jeff Sessions, on behalf of the United States, filed suit against the state of California, seeking to invalidate California laws that they see as interfering with immigration enforcement. The case is United States versus California. It was filed in the Eastern District of California a few days ago. And it's seeking to invalidate those California laws that we talked about a minute ago. Now, to understand, you've got to go back to the fundamental question in the U.S. Constitution. Who is it that controls immigration policy? Is it the federal government or is it the state governments? Well, whether you like it or not, under the Constitution, the federal government has the exclusive power to regulate immigration. And that exclusive power, that preemption, as it's called in the law, can work both ways. It's the same principle that the Obama administration used a few years ago when Arizona wanted to make state laws that were more strict than what the federal government wanted on immigration. Now it's the same policy that the Trump administration is using to try to stop California from having laws that are more liberal than what the federal government wants on immigration. It's not a question of whether what the state wants to do is stricter or more lenient. It's like the Force. It's neutral in that regard. It's just a question of who it is who gets to make the rules. Now, the lawsuit was just filed this week, so it's too early to know exactly how it's going to end up. But it's probably going to turn on the question of whether the court decides that these California laws are, in fact, an attempt by California to regulate immigration, in which case they may very well be void, or if they're an attempt by California just to control internal California matters, and if so, they're probably going to be allowed to do it. Now, even though California, in this situation, is the rebel alliance, they still have some pretty heavy hitters on their side. For example, one of the lawyers working on California's behalf is former Obama Attorney General Eric Holder, who has the reputation of being one of the best legal pilots in the galaxy. So we're going to have to see how this fight works itself out. But the fact that the administration is willing now to step up and directly take on California in the court tells you a few important things. One, the rebels, the sanctuary movement, they're getting somewhere. They're doing something that's bothering the administration. The administration's getting concerned about its ability to control this issue. Both sides are ready for a fight. And if the administration wins this fight, you can expect that attacks on other sanctuary jurisdictions will follow. Now, we all know that real life isn't like Hollywood. So we don't know if this is going to turn out the way that Star Wars does. But hopefully, it'll continue to follow the same plot. Because if it does, we know that California and the other sanctuary jurisdictions, even though they're outmanned, will ultimately emerge victorious and the galaxy will be saved, only this time, hopefully, without Ewoks. So, If you think that this weekly update on immigration law is helpful, if you like staying on top of what's going on in the world of immigration, then please follow us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get our videos as soon as we put them out. And of course, if you have a case that you need help with, or you have questions about immigration and you want to know what we think, give us a call at area code 423-402-0608, or contact us online through our website at www.lesterlaw.org. So, until we see you next time, whether it's here or in a galaxy far, far away, stay safe, stay strong. We'll see you soon.